You do it every single day. You press a little lever, you hear a whoosh, and then it's gone. Out of sight, out of mind, out of your life forever. But here's a question you've probably never actually stopped to ask. Gone where? Because that stuff doesn't just vanish into another dimension. It goes on an incredibly long, surprisingly high-tech, and frankly, kind of heroic journey that almost nobody ever thinks about. So today, we're following it. All of it. Buckle up. Quick promise before we go down the pipes. This is going to be way more interesting than gross. And by the end, you'll understand a giant hidden machine that quietly keeps entire cities alive. You'll also never look at a flush the same way again. Sorry in advance. Let's start at the scene of the crime. When you flush, around 6 liters of water come rushing in and carry everything down through a curved pipe. That curve is called the trap, and it's genius. It holds a little pool of water at all times, and that tiny puddle is the only thing standing between you and the smell of an entire city's worth of sewage floating up into your bathroom. So next time you're in there, take a moment of silence for the U-bend. Unsung hero. From there, everything drops into the pipes inside your house, and then out, under the street, into the real adventure. Beneath the city you live in, there is a massive hidden network of tunnels and pipes. And the clever part is that almost all of it is powered by absolutely nothing. The pipes are gently sloped downhill, so gravity does the work for free. An entire civilization's worth of waste, politely rolling downhill in the dark. Beautiful. But this system has a villain, the fatberg. When people pour grease and cooking oil down the drain and flush so-called flushable wipes, which are absolutely not flushable, it all congeals into a giant solid mass of fat and trash. London once found one that was over 250 meters long and weighed more than a blue whale. Workers had to break it apart by hand with shovels. So, public service announcement. The only things you should ever flush are the 3 Ps: pee, poop, and paper. That's it. Your wipes are starting wars down there. Eventually, all of it arrives at the same place, the wastewater treatment plant, the unsung cathedral of modern life. And the very first thing that happens is the gauntlet. Huge metal bar screens that catch anything too big to continue. And the things they catch are unhinged. Tons of wet wipes, obviously, but also toys, phones, wedding rings, false teeth, and occasionally a GoPro that is somehow still recording. Somewhere out there is footage no human should ever watch. Moving on. Next, the water flows into enormous tanks and is just left alone for a while. And physics quietly sorts everything out. The heavy solid stuff sinks to the bottom. That's called sludge. Remember it. It comes back later as the surprise hero. The greasy, fatty stuff floats to the top and gets skimmed off. And the clearer water in the middle moves on to the next stage, where things get genuinely amazing. Here's the part nobody tells you. The actual cleaning of the water is done by living creatures. The water is pumped into giant tanks absolutely packed with billions of hungry bacteria, and air is bubbled through to keep them thriving. And these microbes do one thing. They eat the waste. They feast on it. So the true unsung heroes of human civilization are microscopic, they live in a tank, and they are currently digesting your lunch from last Tuesday. Without them, cities as we know them genuinely could not exist. Give it up for the little guys. After the bacteria have done their thing, the water is disinfected, usually with UV light or chlorine, and released back into a river, a lake, or the sea. And here's the twist. In many places, that water comes out cleaner than the river it's joining. There is one catch. During heavy storms, some older cities have a single combined system for sewage and rainwater, and when it floods, it overflows, dumping untreated sewage straight into the river. So if it's just rained a lot, maybe don't go for a swim. That's all I'm saying. Now, remember the sludge, the heavy stuff that sank to the bottom? It does not get thrown away. It gets processed, dried, and in a lot of places, it's turned into fertilizer and spread across farm fields. Which means, yes, your poop might be out there right now, helping grow food. Circle of life. Try not to think about it at dinner. It gets better. The sludge is often sealed in airtight tanks, where a different set of bacteria break it down and release methane gas, which is then burned to generate electricity. Electricity that powers the treatment plant. Meaning the poop literally produces the energy used to clean the poop. The system runs on itself. It's poetry. And the final destination? In some places, that cleaned water gets purified even further and sent right back into the drinking supply. Singapore does it. Parts of California do it. Astronauts on the space station are drinking recycled water right now, and they're fine. And honestly, you should make peace with this, because the water cycle doesn't care about your feelings. Every glass of water you've ever had has, at some point in the last few billion years, been someone's pee. The dinosaurs drank it. You're just borrowing it. So there it is. Your waste leaves your house, rides gravity through a secret underground city, survives the gauntlet, gets settled, eaten by heroic bacteria, turned into fertilizer and electricity, and its water gets cleaned up and sent back into the world, sometimes right back into your glass. Be honest, that's a more eventful life than most of us are having. So next time you flush, take 1 second to appreciate the absolutely insane machine you just fed, and then wash your hands. If you enjoyed this, subscribe. I make these every week. And drop a comment with the everyday question you've always secretly wondered about. I'll see you in the next one.